Hi, I'm Jet, and I co-host and produce the morning show with Nic Harcourt. But on my off time, I like to hang out with musicians and artists in studio. This is the SoCal Sound, and this is another SoCal Sound Session. We are public radio, nonprofit here in Southern California. You can support us anytime, 24/7 at the SoCalSound.org. Joshua, Henry, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So you're going to play some amazing tunes. You've got Burn It Up. We've been playing that so much. And I was telling you earlier, every time it comes on the station, I can't help but dance. It's just something inside of me just loves it. You're going to play Hold Me and Can't Nobody Tell Us Nothin. I'm super excited to hear your tracks and just see you bring it to life in person. But I got to talk about last night's show. So you were right across the way. We're in the same plaza as the Soraya.
Yeah.
And you played there last night. How was the show?
The show was incredible. My show, Get Up, Stand Up, where I get into the history of soul, and the audience was amazing. They got up on their feet, they started dancing. I mean, I touch on James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, like the people that have inspired me.
Yep.
And I brought my incredible band from New York, and it was amazing. There were some really special moments too.
I saw a video of, so one of the audience members,
you
duetted Amazing Grace with her, right?
It was one of those really spiritual moments that I try to leave room for, as much as you want to get through song to song.
Yep.
So I had seen her right in the front row, and she was singing along with everything. She was and I heard her voice, and I was like, oh, that's a good voice. So something just told me to go down there and have her sing something. I was like, you ready? Don't let me come down there. And I did, and I was like, you never know what you're gonna get there.
Exactly.
I usually don't
You're going
do
in
that.
blind.
And then she starts singing Amazing Grace. And I was like, and there was a chill over the entire audience. And at the end, she gave me this huge hug, and it was like, it's like she really, really, really needed that. She told me afterwards, you made my life. And it was just, everyone got to share in that moment. And that's what it's really about.
It's inspiring and touching.
Yeah.
Fellow human, another person, and just that connection.
It's like you can write a song, you can write a set list, make a show, want to have a good time, but seeing in real time, you were able to touch someone. Yeah. That's really what it's all about.
I feel like, that's the most priceless thing out of, probably as being a performer, both stage, screen, Broadway, everything. I'm sure that connection is really what you love, and probably what is part of your drive, I'm sure.
That's definitely one of my big whys, is especially live when you're doing a concert show, or on stage, or on a theater stage. It's seeing in real time, feeling in real time when what you say or what you feel does to people. You can hear pin drop, or you can hear laughter, or and it's that's so special. And I love film, and I love TV,
really
and it's amazing
is.
doing Tick Tick Boom or Beauty and the Beast, which was really cool to see.
Which, by the way, okay, so you were in the 30th anniversary celebration. You played Gaston, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you did such a fantastic job. And I will say, I was so stoked to interview you, because Beauty and the Beast, when I was little, was my favorite movie. And so I would always tell my parents, I was 3, I'm play Beauty Beast, because I couldn't say Beauty and the Beast. So I was always requesting it, and I got chills when I watched the 30th anniversary, because I was just this is so amazing, and your embodiment of Gaston was so perfect. But your performances in Into the Woods, amazing. Hamilton, amazing, because you were Aaron Burr. I mean, just
thank you.
Spectacular. And now, you put out Grow in 2021. That was your debut solo album. That had to have felt fantastic when you first released it, right?
Yeah. It was right after, during the pandemic, the first Hold Me was the first track that I released in 2020, and then the album in 2021. And I'm so glad that the song Hold Me was sort of the hallmark for that album, because who doesn't want to be held,
Exactly.
And
during that time.
Yes,
too.
absolutely. During that time, I liked that people were really connecting with that message, and still now, when I played it at Soraya, just acoustically.
Oh, you did it acoustic?
Yeah, sometimes we just bust it down and break it down raw with the acoustic, and you just feel people be and they sing the chorus. I go, hold me just, and they go, Don't hold me back.
Oh,
It's a really beautiful thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
See, that connect, I mean, and that's the nice thing because, we were chatting a little bit earlier and talking about just that connection that music brings to people.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything in your career, you started obviously back in high school, you were in The Music Man, right? You played Harold Hill, and that was kind of like that first role that really pushed you, right? But before that, did you have any sort of like musical influences in your household, like growing up as a kid? Like what kind of made you decide music is my direction?
That's a great question. I grew up, me and my brother, David, he's a bass player. He's like a year and a half older than me, but we grew up really close. We had a band called Peanut Butter and Jam Session growing up.
I love that name.
It's a really good name. I got to use it again. Don't use that. But we grew up playing in church first, and I started playing the guitar when I was 11, and I started to sing and get more confidence in church in like around 14, and I always knew that that I loved music.
Yeah.
When I listened to it on the radio, me and my brother would just listen to it, and I'd play guitar, he'd play bass, and we just play all the songs that we would try to figure out the chords. Pause it, record it, no.
Yeah, it's like before the internet took off where you have tabs and all that stuff.
Yes.
It's like you got to figure it out by hearing it.
You got it. Yes. You can actually record something by cassette still. And so that's where my love of music really got, fired up, was with my brother. And he's still an incredible bass player. He plays in Florida. But when I was 18, of course I did The Music Man, and I started to realize, wow, I love music so much. And being able to do it as a recording artist now and also on stage, at crazy stages like the Hollywood Bowl.
I know, seriously.
Which is, it's wild. But like, I have never, my love and my passion for it has only grown. And I didn't think that was possible.
Some people do, they get tired, I feel. But I feel like those are the people that, maybe they had that connection with music at one point and then they lost it and they may need to go on a journey to find it again.
You're right.
That love, and I think when that kind of dwindles a little bit, you get a little more like, I got to go do this again versus I get to go do this again.
It's that one. That's the energy, right? And if you really stay focused, I find, on connecting with people, moving them, letting them feel something, like that wonderful woman in the front row. That's what can really fuel you. And you find for me, I like to see people, moved. I also like to grow into different types of performance.
Exactly.
And I don't want to just be the same singer I was yesterday, because I feel like I'm here to serve with my instrument. So if you can tie it into something bigger than, I like music, that's like a like can go in here. But
it's a hobby.
I'm here. I've been given a gift. I've got to improve that gift. Why? Because I'm here to inspire, and I'm here to move people with this gift, because we need to feel.
Seriously.
We really have to feel.
Well, and I was going to ask, obviously, you're a fantastic artist and a fantastic actor in musicals because you very, very well portray every character that you play.
Thank you.
But making that transition to being a solo artist, so from being in musicals like ensemble and principal, and then making your way into your solo career as an artist, I mean, do you find that it kind of speaks to you more? I know that you can place yourself in these roles and really become who you're portraying, but when you are on your solo tour and you are performing, you're writing, what's the difference for you?
I think that's a great question. The difference is, when you're performing in a musical, say like Hamilton, right? You get these incredible words and these characters that you can let your soul shine through, right? You bring yourself to these roles, and you portray a vision that is already in place, which is incredible.
Yeah.
That skill set to have is amazing. But when it comes to my recorded music, this is directly from Joshua Henry.
Yeah.
Right?
From your heart, your soul.
And I find that process to be way more vulnerable, way more, I have to be more daring, and you're basically asking, hey, do you feel this too? Do you connect with that?
Yeah.
And you hope that it does. At the same time, you have to ask, whether you do or not, I'm still going to share it. And I think that's the real.
And I think because that is, you don't have courage and bravery without vulnerability. So it goes hand in hand. And I feel like that's what your solo work is doing. You're really like opening up. You're writing. I think your wife was a lot of inspiration for many of your tracks. I mean, I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh, it's got to be his wife. It's got to, like, this is so. And some of it just, you can feel the love. Yeah. And you can feel your passion, and it's just that connection that you have with like human emotion, I think is so great with your solo work. Thank you. Adore it.
Thank you.
And then I have a quick question. So what is your process like? Because I always want to know. Everybody has something different. I've had artists who say, you know, they like to hang out on their tour bus in the back and be like enveloped in like a hood and not really talk to many people. And some people need to go out and, you know, be in the presence of others. What does your creative process look like when you're writing, when you're getting ready, let's say both on stage, you know, on screen, and also in your solo work? What's your process look like? What do you do?
Well,
you have to be somewhere?
Yes, I have to be just like in a park, and the sun has to be shining. Kind of like this, like being in a little tree house.
Right, in the tree.
For my music, I'm usually by myself. Like that's where most ideas start. Like in my my little office where it's just me and my instruments. That's like a sacred space for me. And I've recently gotten really good at just not judging my ideas and just singing them out, just with guitar, and I go to record them as fast as I can.
So go straight into it.
Yeah, so I don't like mess around like, does that work? No, I just want to get the inspiration and the rough idea out there. And as soon as I do that, now I'm sending it out to people that I respect so much more. I have a great collaborator of mine. Her name is Julia Harriman, and we're writing some things together, and for many years we met in Hamilton, and I just would like send something to her, or my friend Ross Golan, who we're also writing another project with. And I was just like, what do you think? What do you think?
Like sounding board.
Right, sounding board, yeah. And earlier the better. And I think the more I'm doing that, the more I'm trusting, the more I'm having to be brave frequently, and just, instead of holding on to something and polishing it up and making sure it's fine, and then a year goes by and like you haven't even,
and no one's heard it.
Right.
You're like, this is, here we go.
You know, but like ideas are meant to be shared. So as it goes fast like that. If it's a character though, you know, like Gaston, the first thing I have to do is block out all the noise from anything that has been. As much as you respect it, like I didn't listen to any of the soundtracks again, like, because I don't want to be influenced in my process of portrayal, bringing myself into it, by anyone's interpretation. So, smart. You know, so that way you can really, and which like kind of like how I do in music. It's just me first, and what is it saying? And then I have one thing that I do, which I'll let you in. I always have a glass for like every character, and I start with how full is their glass of love, right? Is it half full? Have they gotten a full glass of love in their life? Is it empty? And then I go from there. Wow. So everything's got to start with love.
That is so cool.
So thank you. That's process.
And that way you can put yourself into their point of view, and understanding their history helps you speak their truth.
Yes.
That is so
Absolutely.
Cool. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. I've never actually said that but
that's so cool too, to like actually think of it in almost a visual representation, because that really does help. You know, just like the saying, you know, some people see the world as glass half full, some see it as half empty. You know, which person are you? And you could probably understand the views of other people when you understand what side they're coming from.
Yeah.
Right?
And how much love they've received.
Exactly.
Because, you know, like something like Gaston, everyone's like, villain, or Aaron Burr even, right? These are just people who made choices just like you and I make choices. And everything starts with what we think about ourselves. Wow. Everything starts there. Yep. And then how much we need validation from other people. And then we just go down these paths. Yep. But if I can think about that from a place of love and not judgment first, then like, I can empathize with like a half full or empty, and then we can go from there. And I feel like I'm closer to characters that way.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I love, that's why I love asking that question, because it really does, I think I'm surprised every time I ask it, because everyone is so different and they have their own process. And I adore it.
Thank you for asking.
So the major question that I kind of gave you ahead of time, because I don't like springing it on people,
Yeah, watch it. You're gonna like change it right now. Though,
Oh, I'm totally gonna. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go with it. So what I always like to ask is, doesn't matter living or dead. Doesn't matter musician, artist or not. Could be anyone. Let's say you're gonna go make reservations, or like we were talking about earlier, we're gonna go grab some In-N-Out.
If I'm going In-N-Out, I like this.
Who are the 3 people that are like so influential on your life? Doesn't necessarily need to be career, but your life that you would want to invite, that you have to invite. The 3 people.
Oh my goodness. Okay, not in this order. This is a great question. It really, because you're not saying the music.
Yeah.
If I was gonna sit down at In-N-Out with someone, the first name that comes to mind, because we're talking about music, is Prince.
Oh, yes.
Prince. Oh. Fearless artists.
Yep.
You know, the second is gonna have to be, I'm big into sports, and it would probably be, probably LeBron James.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Because of where he came from and the heights that he's risen to, and the longevity is what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
This ain't about 15 minutes.
He's been in it. And what's cool too is he seems hilarious also.
Yeah.
Like he seems like a down-to-earth, funny guy. With the things that I've seen of him, I'm like, oh, you just seem like normal. But that's also the thing, it takes you out of your sport, your career. You're not necessarily tethered to it.
Yeah,
so I feel like that's where he's like different. He's not tethered to just being a basketball player.
It's a big part of his life, but it's one piece of the pie.
It's just one part.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's his family life, and there's his businesses, and how his brand, it's really cool, but the longevity. And then I think, okay, so that's like music, that's like sports, and then like spirituality is another part of my life. So, I think I would probably want to sit down at In-N-Out, with Jesus.
Ooh.
Because, also like a revolutionary at the time when he was here, super controversial, but like, that life is crazy. That life is crazy.
Yep.
So I'm like, what are you about? Go ahead, over a double-double. I want to ask you a couple questions, animal style.
Yeah.
Those are my 3.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so your order is double animal style, right?
Yeah, and protein style.
And protein style.
Yeah.
Mine is double animal style with extra chopped chilies.
And you just told me, I didn't know that chopped chilies was even an option. Nobody told me nothing.
It's part of the secret menu. Part of the secret menu, but I feel like that's like double secret menu in a way.
It's like the real insiders. I'm from the East Coast, so you know things that I don't about, In-N-Out's not here.
Well, maybe one day we'll keep our fingers crossed. Joshua, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been so it's been so great just being able to pick your brain a little bit about your process, about your career, and last night's show being so amazing. I'm so glad that you're at this ride, and you're gonna have to come back again. That's a request I need to make to them.
Yes, Jet, wonderful to talk to you. This was so much fun, and I can't wait to play some music for you. And thank you for playing these songs. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
We love them. Well, in a second, you're going to hear from Joshua Henry performing a bunch of amazing tracks like Burning Up, which you have absolutely heard on the SoCal Sound, one of my faves. Stay tuned for Joshua Henry.
So expensive, my soul's extended. Though I can barely hold the air, if you can show me that you care. I know that every heartbreak on these benches, treadmills and trenches would be worth it. Pushing and pulling like a fool for you, just to prove your affection. I deserve it. You got me burning out, burning, burning, love in the fire, burning, burning. You got me burning out, burning, burning, pulling me under, a dessert or something sweet. Trying so hard but can't win your bakery. You tell me thick in my skin. Ooh, say la vie. Hey, got me burning up, burning, burning. Love in the fire, burning, burning. You got me burning up, burning, burning. Pulling me under, burning, burning. You got me burning up. Burning, 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 burning. Love in the fire, pulling me under. Oh, you got me burning up. Love in the fire, pulling me under. Oh, yeah, yeah. Burning, burning. Love in the fire, burning, burning. Oh, burning, burning. Pulling me under. Burning, burning. Burning, burning, burning. Yeah. Hold me, just don't hold me back. Hold me, just don't hold. I can't sing underwater, holding my breath. All these words in my heart can't go unsaid. Big dreams in your love, big dreams in your love. Don't make me choose between. I need you right here, need you right here. I need a guarantee. Hold me, just don't hold me back. Hold me, just don't hold me back. Oh, hold me, just don't hold me back. Hold me, just don't hold. I know it sounds selfish. I know it ain't right. Now, but should your love share the spotlight? No, you know all my passions. You know the only way I fly. One hand holding yours, one hand to the sky. Hold me, just don't hold me back. Hold me, just don't hold me back. No, hold me, just don't hold me back. Hold me, just don't hold. Love I cannot simplify. What I am can't compromise. At the crossroads, hoping that you hold me. Don't let go, don't let go. Hold me, just don't hold me back. Hold me, hold me, oh, ooh, hold me, just don't hold me back. Hold me, just don't hold. Did the wind blow me too close to you? Twist of fate, now we're no longer too. Ooh. I don't remember, I don't even know my name. Lost track of time, but who cares, you're mine. I don't remember, don't even know my name. Lost track of time, but who cares, you're mine. And when love is overflowing, can't nobody tell us nothing. Can't nobody tell us nothing. Give me every tear, give me every smile. Look into my eyes. Can't nobody tell us nothing. Can't nobody tell us nothing. Might be dead, I might be fast asleep. Ooh, your embraces are the truth I need. I don't remember, I don't even know my name. Lost track of time, but who cares, you're mine. I don't remember, don't even know my name. Lost track of time, but who cares, you're mine. And when